sure that you have totally missed me and that you were completely incomplete without me, starting your day with me. So I'm going to do a couple of these videos. I'm hoping that it helps. My attempt is that I'm going to do a couple lessons per video. So the assignments will be in your Google Classroom as individual assignments, but the YouTube videos will include probably 2 lessons per video. So if you haven't missed it, they're power washing the sidewalk back behind me. So if you hear any extra noise, I'm really sorry about that, but that's what that is. It's just kind of how I live in this room anyway. So we're gonna go ahead and start with 10.4, which is multiplying rational expressions. Remember, rational is just a ratio. It's something that can be written as a fraction. So we're gonna work with multiplying first. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the examples that they have in your book. And we're gonna multiply this fraction, this rational expression, with what we have over here. So you can do this a couple of different ways. My suggestion is that you simplify what you can first. So, oops, this should be a 2, not an A. So simplify what you can first, which means that you may need to factor some things. So let's go ahead and factor this right here, pull a 3 out. So that's going to be 3 times A, that should be a plus sign, I promise I'm awake, A plus 3. Okay, so we take a 3 out and it's A plus 3. So now what we're doing is we can simplify anything on top with anything on the bottom. So I'm going to ask that you do that first and then multiply across. So this 6 and this 2, I can go ahead and make this a 1 and make that a 3. Okay? Then I can multiply across. I have a 3 on top and an A plus 3 in a parenthesis there. And then on bottom I have 3 times A plus 3. Well, look at that. Now, I could have actually simplified the 3's here, but it looks like 3, A plus 3, 3, A plus 3. Okay, it all becomes the same. So when they all cancel out, it just becomes 1. This one happened to work out like that. It doesn't always work that way. So let's go ahead and try. This is if you had a couple of binomials. Let's go ahead and see if you had multiple monomials. So again, out of your book, I have 12 b cubed c squared over 5ac. Remember, anything on top can simplify with anything on bottom. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and write the problem first, and then we'll work with the things that we can simplify. Then I have 15 a squared b over 3 b squared c. So let's see what we can do. I know right here this 5 can become a 1 and this can become a 3. However, let's look at that 3 and 3. They can cancel each other out too. Okay? If it helps you to see things a little bit more, you can go ahead and multiply out and then simplify, but it's going to be best if we simplify first. So this b cubed is going to become a b, and then that b squared can simplify, and it can go away. This would become 1c, and that can go away. Now, I'm left with, I can go ahead and multiply across the top, or I'll rewrite it for you so that we can see things a little bit clearer. Times a squared b over 1. Now, it still looks like there's some things that we can simplify, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And let's get rid of this a and make that just 1a. It looks like the c's can cancel out. Now, I'm left with just 1's on bottom. So I'll go ahead and write that, but I don't want to leave it like that. Then I have 12. I'll work with my numbers first. 12. And then I have 2 b's and an a. So I'm going to go ahead and write the a first, just so we're writing it in alphabetical order. So if there's 2 b's, that becomes b squared. Now, with this, because it's left over 1, I don't want to leave the 1 there, so we'll say 12ab squared is our simplified version of that. So these were monomials. There's no plus or minus signs. There's nothing else but just the terms as 1. So that means that any b on top can cancel with any b on bottom, any a or c or whatever. Anything on top can cancel with anything on bottom. So then let's go ahead and try a little bit harder. Okay, let's say I have, again, I'm just going to use the examples from your book, but we have c minus 4 times over times 45, and then negative 4c plus 16. Now, my first term is a negative here, so I'm going to go ahead and right away, I'm going to simplify that by taking out a negative 4 and making it c minus 4. Okay, so Mrs. Keith came in because she loves me so much, she just wanted to say hi. Just kidding, she needed something. So I'm sorry for the interruption. Let's go ahead and go back to this. If I take a negative 4 out, I end up with c minus 4. So then if I look at this, I can now say, okay, my c minus 4 can cancel out with c minus 4. I can go to this, and that becomes a 1, and that becomes a 9. Now, let's look at what we're left with. I have a 9 on top, and I just have that negative 4 on bottom. So I can leave it like that, or I can say a negative 9/4. If you want to make it a mixed number, you can. So it'd be 2 1/4, or you can just leave it, or negative 2 1/4, or you can just leave it as negative 9/4. That's okay as well. Let's go ahead and look at what if I have something even more difficult where we have multiple terms that we've got to simplify. We're going to pull from what we did last chapter where we're going to factor some things and then have some full binomials. Remember, anything on top can cancel with anything on bottom, but that means if you have a full binomial, like we did here, we had a full binomial, c minus 4 and c minus 4, it's seen as one term. So the whole thing would have to cancel out. I can't just cancel this c with any c, it has to be the full c minus 4. Okay, so when we go to that, let's go ahead and say I have n minus 5 over n squared plus 4n times n squared plus 8n plus 16 over n squared minus 3n minus 10. Now what I do, if I see something like this, my first step is I'm going to look at these and I'm going to try and factor them, okay? So my binomial on top here, n minus 5, I can't factor anything. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that as n minus 5. This right here, I can pull an n out, so I'm going to do that. And then I'm left with n plus 4. So again, all I'm doing at this point is factoring. I'm not even simplifying. I'm not going to cancel anything out yet. I'm going to factor first. Then on top, I have, it looks like it's a perfect square. Let's double check. N squared is a perfect square. 16 is a perfect square. If I find the square root of that, which is 4, and I double it, it's 8. So I'm going to have n plus 4 times n plus 4 is what goes on top here. Okay. And then I need factors of 10, and it looks like they need to have a difference of 3. So 5 and 2 have a difference of 3. That means I have n minus 5, since my 3 is a negative, so it's n minus 5, n plus 2. Now let's see what we can cancel out. Once I do that, then I have, okay, n minus 5 can cancel out with n minus 5. I have an n plus 4 and an n plus 4. Now, whatever I'm left with is going to go across. So I have n plus 4, and I still have an n over here, and then n plus 2. What that means is because I'm multiplying, I still want to continue multiplying it out. So I'm not done yet. I don't want to leave it factored. I actually want to multiply. So my top is going to be n plus 4, and then I'll have n squared plus 2n on bottom. Okay, so we're going to multiply that out. So when we are doing these, remember that you want to simplify or factor what you can, simplify, and then do the multiplication. Okay, so step 1, factor if you can. Step 2, simplify anything on top with anything on bottom, and it has to be a full term. I can't simplify this n and that n because this is one term, and n plus 4 and n plus 2 is seen as one term. So I have to be able to cancel out the whole thing. So simplify what I can, then give me what you're left with, then multiply it out, okay? And then that's your end result there. Let's go ahead and try. So that is multiplying. That's the first half of 10.4. The second half is going to be dividing. So if I have something like this, 1 over x, and I'm dividing x minus 2 over 2x. Remember, we're dividing rationals, and when you divide by a fraction, you multiply by the reciprocal. So this is exactly what you did in 6th grade and 7th grade. The only difference now is that we have variables thrown in. So it's a little bit of algebra in with the multiplying and dividing that you've done before. So we're going to start with this first term, and then I multiply, and this second term is the one that I flip. I only flip the second one. So 1 over x times 2x over x minus 2. Now I'm doing the exact same thing as I did before. So I can simplify anything on top with anything on bottom, which this x right here, this x right here and this x right there can cancel out. I cannot simplify those 2's because one is all by itself, one is attached to an x minus. So that has to be seen as one full term. So I would only be able to cancel that out if I could cancel out the whole term. So now I'm saying 1 times 2 is 2, x minus 2 is left on bottom, and there's our fraction after we have divided. Okay, let's try another one. Let's say I have 18v w squared over 6v divided by 3v squared x to the 4th over 2w to the 4th x. Now, we're working with monomials again. There's no addition or subtraction, so that's good. But we've got to rewrite this first as a multiplication problem and then work on simplifying. I can't simplify anything on top with anything on bottom yet because I want to get to the point of multiplying first, which means that I want to change this to a multiplication. My first fraction stays exactly the same. My second one, when I turn it to multiplying, it flips. So it turns into the reciprocal. Now I have whatever I can do on top, simplify anything on top with anything on bottom. So now I can look at this and I can say, let's see what I can do. This and this can cancel out, this becomes a 3. And then my 3's can cancel out. And it looks like we're done with the numbers, okay? And then I can say this v and that v cancel out. And it looks like this x can become x to the 3rd and that can become x, or it can become 1. So now let's multiply across. I want to work with my numbers first, so I have a 2 left, and then I have w to the 4th, w squared. Remember, I add my exponents, so it becomes w to the 6th over, it looks like v squared x to the 3rd. And there is our answer, okay? So remember again, dividing by fractions means that we multiply by the reciprocal, and it's only the second one that flips, okay? Not the first. The first one stays exactly the same. So let's say I have something like this. I'm gonna have x squared minus x over x plus 2, and it's divided by x squared plus 2x minus 3. Now, since that trinomial is all by itself, and we're still dividing, I have to treat it like it's over 1, and then I can say, okay, x squared minus x over x plus 2 times, flip that with a 1 on top. So now we're still doing the reciprocal, x squared plus 2x minus 3. Now, what I'd like to do again, once we set it up so it's a multiplication problem, then factor what I can. This one, I can take an x out, so I get x times x minus 1. That would stay the same. And then factor this again, the 1 would stay the same on top. On bottom, it looks like I have factors of 3 that have a difference of 2. So that's going to give me 3 and 1, and the 3 should be positive since the 2 is positive. Okay? Now it looks like I should be able to cancel out some things. So I have x minus 1 and x minus 1 because they are one term. They're both in parentheses. It's a full term. Those can cancel each other out. Now I'm left with x on top. I have x plus 2 and x plus 3 on bottom. However, because I'm multiplying across, I can't leave it like that. I am actually going to multiply this out again, pulling from the things that we know that we've done. So I'm going to move this just up a little bit so that I can say x over factor first outers and inners is going to be plus 5x, last is plus 6. So when I multiply it out, this is what I should end up with, okay? So that is our 10.4, multiplying and dividing our rational expressions. So I will go ahead and attach this with your assignment into the Google Classroom. If you have questions, please let me know, post them. I'll answer as quick as I can. I will check in regularly. You can send me pictures of your work. If you have any questions along the lines, send me a particular problem. I can answer it as best I can, or we can set up a Google call. I'll log you into Google Hangouts if you need to do that, so that we can just make sure that you guys get all your questions answered. I miss you. I hope you're doing well. Can't wait to see you again. Hopefully it'll be soon.